Hello and welcome to Own Your Health with me, Katie Brindle. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's episode is going to be all about how to get into some really good sleep routines. So if sleep has been something that is really a problem for you or any of your loved ones, especially after the festive period where often sleep patterns tend to go out the window and we all sort of somehow feel a bit jet lagged when we're going back into work, then this is the episode for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, do please hit the subscribe button now. And if you're listening to this on your favourite podcast platform, do please share this content with your friends and loved ones. It helps us get the message out there. In the meantime, I thought I'd give a little bit of feedback from some of the lovely people in our audience. Jennifer says, thank you so much for answering my question on knee pain, Katie. I'll definitely try this tonight. Well, Jennifer, do let us know how you get on, because knee pain is so common and there are so many brilliant techniques that Chinese wisdom will offer to help you navigate this problem. So do let us know. And Mo says, thank you. I get chapped lips in the colder weather and I shall take this on board. Funny enough, we were talking about chapped lips earlier on before we started recording. And I have to say that chapped lips is probably the biggest health concern that I cover. More than anything else. It's more than weight loss, more than skincare, more than libido, more than sex, more than shagging. Okay. Honestly, it's chapped lips. It's up there over everything else. Okay. So honestly, let me just give you a quick chapped lips refresher. If you're listening to this, go, oh my God, what did she say about chapped lips? I get chapped lips. Everyone gets chapped lips. Okay. So what do? The first thing is there is this brilliant lip balm, which I discovered a few years ago, and it has changed my life forever. Okay. And it's a brand called Active Silver. And they do this brilliant lip balm. And the reason why it works is because the active ingredient in it is colloid silver. Now, colloid silver is a brilliant ingredient that people don't know much about. It sort of went out of favor when penicillin came in at the sort of beginning of last century. And it's only just sort of having a bit of a revival now. It is the most brilliant ingredient. So if you go to the website of Active Silver, they'll give you like chapter and verse about how brilliant colloid silver is, or just feel free to Google it for yourself. And you heard it here first. But their lip balm is brilliant. So brilliant, I actually carry it as part of my Katie Loves over on the Hey You method because I love it. And I actually can't live without that product. It is so important to me, that product, that I buy 5 of those products. I buy 5 lip balms at a time because then my kids nick them. And then I have a secret stash. Okay, because then they nick them and then they lose them. And then I cannot be without it. So I've got a secret stash that they kind of know about. And then I've got another secret stash. And I'm not joking. I have a safe in my house. I actually have one in my safe so that if all else fails, I can get my hands on that product because it's that good. And if I don't use it, my lips just chap up straight away, and no other lip balm has ever worked quite as well. So that's the first thing to say. And you can make your own, obviously, by using colloid silver, which is the main ingredient. The other thing is gua sha is incredibly good for chapped lips. Now, over on the Hey You method, we have a tool called the Precision. It's a very little tool. It looks a bit like your little finger. And you just use the little end of the Precision over your lips. Okay. Preferably what I do is I have a little gua sha Precision in my handbag with my lip balm. So I put the lip balm on and then I go over with the Precision tool. And as a result of those two things, I no longer get chapped lips. But if my children have depleted all supplies, if I can't get to my safe because for whatever reason I'm not there, my lips just within 24 hours, they start to wreak havoc. So those are my absolute tips for chapped lips, which is what I was talking about. There is also a fact sheet on chapped lips as well if you're a sufferer. So there we go. Okay, so today we're going to talk about sleep. So this is in response to Jamie, who sent in this brilliant message. So she says, after an absolutely mental Christmas with the kids, 3 kids in early primary school under 8, obviously any form of routine went out of the window. Bedtime was whenever they crashed from their sugar highs. Now they're back at school. I feel jet lagged. You've mentioned sleep things before, but I was hoping you might be able to give me some advice to fix my sleeping patterns. And I thought, yes, because I thought, what a brilliant thing to talk about early in the new year, because this jet lag concept is exactly how I felt. We were pretty much in the same boat. And I know millions of other people the same, that with all of the comings and goings of Christmas and various different people sort of coming and going, and we're all a bit off of routine, the sleep pattern goes off routine as well. And then often what happens is we're struggling to get to sleep, we're waking up in the night, and then we're finding it really hard to get up in the morning. So what do? Well, the first thing to say is that sleep is, after chapped lips, believe it or not, one of the most common health conditions that I deal with. And the reason why is because if we strip this back to the 3 things you need to know about owning your health, those 3 things, which I'll tell you in a sec, all work into sleep. So that means that you only need one of those three things to be off balance, and your sleep will get off balance too. So let's just recap that for any new listeners. Any regular listeners, you can recap it with me and go, I know this, because you do, because you're owning your health. Right, number one, for your body to be healthy and therefore your sleep to be good, you need to have the circulation moving freely, constantly, all the way around the body. It's literally just like this constant flow. Now, the problem is with an over-sedentary, irregularly patterned lifestyle that we all tend to be leading, that circulatory flow gets impacted and doesn't flow smoothly. Okay, that's the very first thing. And it's so common, it's like the new pandemic. So number two, your body is like a giant filtration plant. So you've got new stuff coming in and out with the old, in with the new. Okay, but that doesn't happen as efficiently as it should do either, just e.g. by being over sedentary. Number three is your organs have a much bigger responsibility to your body, according to Chinese medicine, than they do in the West. Now, you can agree or disagree with that, but I would urge you to listen to what the Chinese say or what I'm telling you, because it will help you if you choose to take it on board. And if you disagree, just do it anyway, because actually, I promise you they're right, and it will help you so much. So these organs, predominantly the five key ones you need to pay attention to: the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidney, and the spleen. Okay. And those organs need to be balanced and need to be optimized so that they're supported so that you're healthy. And if they're not balanced and they're not optimized, you will start to feel symptoms. Okay. Now, for those of you interested, there are free fact sheets on my website with every single one of those organs there, telling you exactly what that's all about. It makes interesting stuff. So at least inform yourself, even if you then choose to discard it. Okay. Because 50% of the solution is understanding what's going on in the first place, which is what this podcast is for. Okay. So all of that has impact on your sleep. Okay. So the first thing is, let's just talk about regular patterns, because there's this thing in Chinese medicine called the Ziwu clock. Now, the Ziwu clock is a 24-hour clock, because that is how time is managed in Earth. And the 12 organs of the body all have a 2-hour window where the energy moves from one to the other, to the other, to the other throughout the 24-hour cycle, and then it starts again. Okay. Now, this is important because our lives traditionally, now less so now because we live in a bit of a funny age of like lights and computers and like working all the time, blah, blah, blah. But back in the day, before all of this stuff, we used to live our lives according to this clock. And our routine was extraordinarily symbiotic with the natural calendar and the natural routine. Okay. And it's kind of moved away a bit now, but we need to know this stuff and we need to draw it back in line as best we possibly can. So, for example, the energy of the body is in the stomach between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. And then it moves to the spleen between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Now, the reason why everyone kind of knows that you should eat breakfast and they say it's the most important meal of the day is because, indeed, the stomach energy is at its strongest between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., which gives you the best possible time to digest your food. And anyway, it makes sense because obviously you're then going to use that food whilst you're moving around for the rest of the day, rather than what we tend to be doing, which is eating our meals fairly late at night once we've got home from our excruciating day, and eating a whole load of food at sort of 7, 8 o'clock at night, which is the opposite time when the stomach energy is at its weakest, which is when your digestive system is going to be at its lowest. So there is an example. Another example is often we get very tired in the middle of the afternoon, sort of that 3 o'clock dip, that mid-afternoon dip. Now, that's because the energy has moved into the water channel at that time of day. And the water channel is very much commanded by your kidneys. And your kidneys are responsible to be the batteries of your body, which gives you your energy. Okay, the batteries is like your phone battery. And they need rest. People always, when I say kidneys, they think water. And yes, they're the water element. But more than, or as much as water, they need rest. And actually what the body wants in the middle of the afternoon, because it's dipping, is a nap, because that's what your body's asking for. Now, we push through it with caffeine and sugar and all these other things, but the most important thing you can do, if you possibly can, in the middle of the afternoon is have a rest. 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of quiet time. Encourage offices to have relaxation pods where you can just go and just, not spend all day sitting around not working. Obviously, we've got to be productive, but allowing our bodies to have a break in the middle of the afternoon is extremely conducive to good health and good mental clarity and focus. So it's not good for the body to just push on through all day long, especially as most of us don't take a lunch break. Most people don't. And if you have the option to take your lunch break at different times, then try and take your lunch break perhaps half an hour at lunch for food, but then half an hour later on for rest. Okay, these are really important things to do. Now, the thing about sleep, okay, is that the energy of the body is going into a sleep cycle at 11 p.m. at night. It goes into the wood element, which very much needs to rest at that time of day. So if you're going to bed, you really need to be going to bed, especially in the wintertime, at about 10 p.m. so that you are sound asleep by 10:30 p.m. and therefore that when the energy is moving into the wood element which is in fact, in this instance, the gallbladder bit of the wood element at 11 p.m., you are sound asleep. Now, I am going to give you full confession. I have Christmas jet lag and I haven't been going to bed before midnight any night this week. I've been fiddling around and sort of not really getting on with what I should be doing all the wrong things, and it's impacted my day the next day. I wake up in the morning feeling grotty. Okay, now I'm, as of now, because I'm repeating myself to you, going to take matters into my own hand, and I will assure you this evening I shall be fast asleep and tucked up in my bed by 10:30 tonight. And I will feel better tomorrow. So it's very, very important for your sleep cycle to make sure that you are in deep sleep by the time that energy has moved into the wood element. If you are either A, not able to get to sleep, or B, waking up until 3 o'clock in the morning time, so any time between not getting to sleep and fitful sleep or waking before 3 a.m., there is a problem with your liver, because that's the dominant organ of the wood element. Now, here we go to Christmas. Overindulgence. According to Chinese wisdom, the last thing you should be doing around the seasonal node that we're in at the moment is overindulging. We should be resting, going to bed early, being peaceful and eating moderately and doing gentle exercise at late morning and around lunchtime. That is what we should have been doing over the Christmas period. And it's highly unlikely that you were doing any of that. You were probably overindulging, eating at funny times, going to bed late, watching. I binge watch Squid Game with my children. I've never binge watched a Netflix program in my life. I actively sit here on this very sofa telling you not to watch the next episode, to, if you have to, watch 10 minutes of the next episode and then stop, okay? And do not binge watch anything. It is incredibly bad for you. Why? Because your liver opens to your eyes are consuming all that information, it's going into your liver, and then your liver has to process all of that before it goes into sleep, when the energy goes into the liver at between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. And there I was, not heeding my own advice, binge watching this blooming program, which I'm completely addicted to and I absolutely love. I should do an episode on why it's so brilliant, because many people go, but it's really violent. It's like, it is just genius on so many different levels. I could talk about it for hours. It's brilliant. My kids love it. And we binge watched it. Mea culpa. I binge watched the whole of series 2. I could not stop. I was just like a child with sugar, and I was up until 4 a.m. Then I couldn't sleep. Okay, so there I am. Literally, I am out here, guys. You know, I'm giving you this wisdom, but I'm also a human being, and sometimes I fall prey too. And let me tell you, when I fall prey, like you, I will pay the price. Okay, it's not good for you. You need to stop the visual distractions. Okay, and that's the problem with the Christmas jet lag, because you're often watching these programs till late at night going, oh, you know what? I have to get up tomorrow. I'm going to watch another episode. To hell with it. Okay, now this is going to impact the liver, which is already dealing with the whole digestive stuff going on, the overconsumption of things, and then we're over-consuming visual stimulus at the same time. It's going to play havoc with your sleep. So what are we going to do? The first thing is just get the timings correct. Okay, get back to what we should be doing at this time of year, which is getting ready for bed at about 9:30, doing half an hour of good old self-care up in the bathroom, which I'll go through in a minute, getting yourself into bed by 10, and so that you are sound asleep by 10:30, so that the energy is now back in line with the Ziwu clock, so that you're up at the right time, because you're ready to wake up some point between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m, depending on your calendar, and you're eating something between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m, and boom, you're back on track. That's the first thing. So in terms of Netflix sanity, okay, do not do what I did and binge watch that program, okay? And if you are going to binge watch it, try and watch it in the daytime. You've got to get the television stuff under control. Do not watch that extra episode, as tempting as it is. It's like having that extra chocolate or that extra glass of wine. Have it, okay, don't listen to me like I didn't listen to myself, and then pay the price. okay, and know that that's what it's going to do. It's too much consumption, okay? So don't do that. And get yourself back into the right time, because that immediately, the thing about the liver is, aside from its Ziwu clock thing going on late at night and the sleep cycle, but the liver is also responsible for the primary thing that keeps you healthy, which is the smooth flow of qi and blood around the body. It's the liver's responsibility to supervise that. Whilst the heart's pumping everything and commanding it all, the liver's responsible for that bit. And if you're over consuming and over ingesting and you're over watching visual things, and that also accounts for being on your phone before you go to sleep at night as well, which we're all guilty of. Everyone's nodding, me too. Okay, that we go onto our phones, we get into bed and we get our phones out and we just, I don't know, what do? Well, I don't, but what I did last night, because I was up late, I cleared all my messages. I did that because I got a few messages, need to just sort that out. And then I popped onto Instagram to clear my messages there. And then I thought, let me just have a look what Rory's up to, because he makes me laugh. So I popped onto his feed, and then I had a good laugh at a couple of his things, and then he made me laugh. So I thought, you know what, let me watch another one. Let me watch the one where Trini's got the Tina Turner wig and it's brilliant. So I did look a bit of that. Now I'm laughing, which actually is good for me, but I'm stimulating myself. It's not good. You know what's the best thing to do before you go to sleep at night? Reading. Do you remember that? Reading a book, an old-fashioned book. Right. And everyone's kind of wincing, going, I don't know, I don't really do that anymore. Okay. And if you're my kids, they don't do that at all. Okay. Because they're the new generation. Anyone listening to this podcast that's in my kind of core audience was born in the 20th century. We all know what a book is, and we all used to read them. Try and get some books. I promise you, whenever I do the book, not the iPhone, I sleep so much better. Okay. So this is getting the process going. Journaling is also, if you're not interested in reading, journaling before you go to sleep. It is a brilliant way of detoxing and clearing out the liver, because the liver is also very much responsible for the purging and the nourishing bit of your 3 aspects of health. That's another really, really brilliant technique to do. Okay, so what are we saying? Number 1, get your routine back on track, aligned to this thing called the Ziwu clock that you probably didn't even know about. Very important. It's winter time right now. Even more important to go to sleep early than any other time of year. So get your self-care habits moving down into the 9:30 time. Do not binge watch. Your liver opens to your eyes. Too much visual stimulation is going to disrupt your sleep. And get yourself into good habits like reading or journaling before sleep, okay? Those are really important things to do. Then try and make sure that you've got regular habits. The good thing about January is it's a month where everybody tends to be thinking about self-care, and not many people are going out much. So it's a very good month to embrace just good, gentle habits. Eating at the right time of day. Diary your food, as in diary it, your breakfast time. When are you eating your breakfast? When are you eating your lunch? I fell prey of that again today. I do this stuff all the time because it's Christmas. I just kind of got a bit, and I've only just kind of got myself. Yesterday was the first day I actually had to myself to actually think straight, never mind do anything. And no, I hadn't put that in my diary. And therefore today I'm doing this podcast on an empty stomach. Should have had my lunch, but didn't, because I was off whack and I wasn't really hungry. And now I'm kind of thinking, and then my eating time's going off whack. So, because I didn't diary it. It's a really simple technique. Put it in your diary. When am I eating? And then the stretch target for that is, what am I eating? Okay. Because the other thing that's happened to me over the Christmas period is I've moved house. So I've been a little bit hand to mouth in terms of having my kitchen stocked. So I've got stuff in my freezer and I've got ingredients at the ready, and I'm prepped with some batch cooking and the kind of things that normally I have in my old home that I took for granted. And because that didn't happen, I was thrown off kilter because I didn't have those things. It's like, what are we eating? I don't know. Oh God, I haven't got anything in. Right. So make sure that you've used, say, this weekend to just make sure that you've just got your kitchen under control. You've got things ready to, homemade food, good quality food, or good quality frozen food, and that you've got your kitchen stocked. And if anyone needs help on that, I can do another podcast all about how to just manage your kitchen super healthily, because ingredients like ginger, for example, will sit in your kitchen for ages. There's some really good tin things. Frozen fruit and vegetables are actually really good. Having a wok, having a slow cooker, you can assemble food quickly if you've got yourself set up. Okay, so what do we need to do in that half hour? So what I suggest you do, especially in the wintertime, is go up to bed half an hour earlier to do your ablutions, to do your self-care. And your ablutions is not just cleanse, tone and moisturize and brush your teeth, which is what it used to be when anyone 20th century, that's what we were told to do. There's more to it. Really simple thing. So do that, but gua sha your chest. It's absolutely brilliant for supporting sleep. because it supports the lungs. Okay. There's also a load of kidney points around the chest, which are easy to access. And the night time is kidney time. Okay. So by ensuring that the lungs are working well and supporting some of those kidney points, you're going to immediately improve sleep. Tap slowly all over the body using either the Hey You bamboo tapper or just using your hands. Put on a slow piece of music and just slowly tap all over your body. Okay, it's incredibly good at supporting sleep because it's working into circulation, it's working into purging and nourishing, and it strengthens the 5 key organs because you're working via the channels. Okay, so therefore you're helping the organs via their collaterals, we like to call them. So that's tapping. Foot bathing is one of the best things you can do to support sleep. I just stick my feet under the tap one at a time because I'm fairly agile. And if you can't do that, get the shower on them. Okay, but just the feet. Why? Because it sends the energy of the body, which in the daytime is moving up around your face and shoulders, down to where it enters the body for sleep cycle, which is your ankles. So massaging the feet with water directs the energy down to where it's got to go anyway. It just gives it it's like a motorway. It's like a toll road straight down with nothing getting in the way. Having a bath or a full-blown shower isn't actually as effective as just localizing the feet and foot bathing. Once you've got foot bathing under control, massage your feet whilst they're in the foot bath, and even better, have magnesium butter to hand. There's a brand I love that does magnesium butter called Sweet Bee. Holly, who's the founder, is amazing. Her magnesium butter, in my opinion, is her all-time best product. I use it every night without fail, and it is brilliant. Magnesium is much better to be absorbed through the skin than absorbed through the mouth. And being absorbed through the feet, where there's all these kidney points going on and all the energies down there, is even better for sleep. And Leapfrog, which is another brand I love, do a snooze tablet, which I think is very helpful. And then another brand that we absolutely love and big friends of the podcast, Saffron Calm, okay, which is from the Organic Pharmacy. They have got a Saffron Calm range, and saffron has been clinically proven in many, many trials to support with sleep and calming the nervous system. Naked Pharmacy are a brand that I am really, 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 really love. And their founder has been on the podcast, and he's hopefully going to come on again. And I talk about their stuff a lot. And the last, but by no means least, is get the old castor oil compress out. We sell them over on the Hey You method. They are absolutely brilliant. And you just literally put this thing over your liver before you go to sleep at night, and you go to sleep. It is literally self-care whilst you sleep. It is the gift that keeps on giving. If you didn't get one for Christmas, I urge you to get one now. We sell them over on Hey You, and they are fantastic, okay, at supporting sleep. So there we go. That is my suggestions for getting your sleep patterns back on track in the season where sleep is absolutely paramount, because wintertime is when you should be going to bed early. And often in the festive period, we don't. So get it back on track now. January is not a boring month. January, I have to say, is my favourite month of the year because everyone is finally listening to what I bang on about all year round, and I've got a captive audience to talk to. So yippee. And by the way, just to say, I don't always do these things perfectly myself either. Sometimes life takes over for me too. And sometimes I fall short of my own advice, and then I notice I pay the price, which means I have that smug moment to myself going, you see, told you I was right, because I am, because this wisdom is thousands of years old and it's been serving billions of people for thousands of years, and it will help you too. I didn't come up with this stuff. I'm just the very, very chatty mouthpiece bringing it to you, I hope, in an entertaining and joyful manner, because that's what this is all about. So thank you so much for joining. If you've been enjoying this episode, do please hit the subscribe button now and share this with your friends and loved ones, and leave us a comment. And of course, always leave us your questions. And I look forward to seeing you next time.